So I was sent a Switch 2 prototype or something along those lines, and in this video, we're gonna open the package up and take an in-depth look at whatever I got here. And guys, honestly, not sure if I'm supposed to have this, so yeah, let's get into it. All right, so I got all this stuff here as well as a return label inside so I can send this thing back when I'm done with it. But it looks like here on top we have our Switch 2, I would assume. This thing is hefty. Holy crap, it is really heavy. Also, we have some apparently Switch 2 screen protectors here. As you can see, they say, yeah, Switch 2 down there. And these are from TechMatte, who is the company that actually sent me the Switch 2 to check out. So thanks to them. And we'll talk about those screen protectors in a little bit here. But let's go ahead and do the deed here. Let's open up this package and see, or open up this case and see what's inside of the case. Oh my goodness, I guess that's it. This is a hefty boy. You can see the screen there. You can see our Joy-Cons. Let me go ahead and pull this unit out. Let's take a closer look at it. And holy crap, this thing is so heavy. It's like, it feels like it's straight up made out of concrete. I don't know, something is wrong about it, but you can see our kickstand here in the back as well. We'll take a closer look at this thing here in a second, but first I want to start with a comparison in terms of size to the regular Switch. All right guys, so Switch 2 up here, we've got our Switch OLED down here, our regular Switch here, and you can just see right off the bat how much larger this is, because holy crap, it's like, it's not even close. This thing is huge. I mean, our Switch and Switch OLED are about 9.5 inches wide. This one is 11 inches almost wide, so it's an extra 1.5 inches there. And then let me just put the OLED on top of this thing, and you can see, yeah, height-wise and width-wise, this thing is just much, much larger. And guys, in terms of screen real estate, you can see our regular Switch is down here with the smallest screen, our Switch OLED with a 7-inch screen, and then of course our Switch 2 with an 8-inch screen, and this thing is just, I can't overstate how large this thing is. Now, another size comparison I want to do here is the thickness of the two consoles, and I believe they said in the presentation that they actually have the same thickness, and I would agree with that. It looks, yeah, right about the same there. Okay, that's cool. Also, we should compare the Joy-Con size because, yeah, obviously the Joy-Cons in the new Switch 2 are much larger, and oh my goodness, yeah, at first glance, you can see that thing is probably like 20% larger in terms of height right there, which is a nice little addition because the Joy-Cons in the regular Switch are like, they're not horrible, but they're pretty dang small if your hands are like any decent size. If you've got small hands, then the Joy-Cons were perfect for you probably. But let's go ahead and take a closer look at this Switch 2 now and see what it looks like. So I'll start at the bottom here, and it looks like we have our USB-C charging port, also some holes right there, I guess where screws usually are. I don't see screws there. This thing is definitely not like a real Switch 2, but it's, yeah, the stand doesn't come out. I'm not really sure what this thing is, to be honest. We'll try to, I don't know, do some more stuff with it here in just a second, but also got some flaps here. Not quite sure what those are usually for, probably ventilation, I would assume, on the bottom of the console. Also, on the back here, we have our kickstand, but it looks like it's just kind of etched in place because it doesn't actually come out. And then here on the top, you can see we have our volume rocker here on the side. I would assume that's probably our power button. Also got 3 more buttons here for something, or actually, that's probably more ventilation that's plugged up. Then some screw holes right there. Also our auxiliary port right there. USB-C, so you can charge from both angles. And that's something I really want to try when I get the real Switch 2 that I guess I can actually use. I want to try to plug in USB-C on both ends and just see what happens. And guys, I want to take the Joy-Cons off to see if they actually work like normal Joy-Cons on the Switch 2, but first I want to show you these Switch 2 screen protectors and try to try them out and just see how they work. All right guys, so again, these are amFilm screen protectors for the Switch 2. They came from TechMatte, who is the company that sent me the Switch 2 prototype thing here. Let's go ahead and slide this thing out. And oh, this thing looks fancy. We got a removal cover for a dust removal cover there. Also got some accessories in this little pouch, our installation guide as well. And then what in the world is going on here? Well, looking at the directions, it looks like we actually need to remove the Joy-Cons first before we install this. So let's go ahead and just remove the Joy-Cons on this thing and see how this works. So I believe on a real Switch, you press this button here, but it looks like this button is like just pure concrete, like built in there. You can't press anything. I'm gonna try to pop this off, and oh yeah, that's a magnet. What? Oh yeah, so there's actually magnets here. I'm not sure if that's supposed to come out like that, but let's go ahead and take a closer look at the Joy-Con first. And you can see this thing is very beefy, just in your hands. It's pretty large and feels nice in the hands. Let me go ahead and get rid of those magnets, but it does feel very nice in the hands. I have a Series X controller actually here for comparison to kind of show you. So here's how a Series X controller fits in my hands, and it's very comfortable. Then you pick up a Joy-Con, and this one is about the same size and a very similar feel. Obviously it's a different controller, but like I'm trying to give you an idea of like size comparison, how it feels. And I gotta say, it's a lot nicer in the hand than the original Joy-Con. Just like look at that size there, they're about the same height. Weird comparison, I know, but just trying to give you an idea of what's going on here. And also, if you're trying to play sideways, it's still very awkward because you got to reach your thumb over and control, but a little bit better than the Joy-Cons on the original Switch. And of course, these buttons right here, I think would traditionally be actual buttons. Of course, on this thing, it's just like a dummy. I think they called it a dummy unit. I wasn't quite sure what that meant. I just knew it was a Switch 2, but not quite. And you can see that's basically what we have here, including the little button here, which I believe is probably our sync button. And then I think this right here is where it actually latches in on the real Switch 2. On here, we don't have that mechanism here. You can kind of just see there's magnets up there. and magnets down there that latch it in place. So it's like kind of legit. Like it does click into place like a Switch 2, but it doesn't have the same magnetism that the regular Switch 2 has. But let's go ahead and pop this side off as well. And that one, oh, that one looks better. You can see that one's actually got the white there, and then the magnets stick inside like so. So a couple more things I want to test out or show you here on the Joy-Con. So first I'll start with the triggers on the back, and you can see just how much larger the triggers are on the Switch 2. They're honestly probably like double the size of the regular Switch, which is very nice because you can kind of rest your finger on the side and press it from the side if you want to instead of pressing from the top. Same with this trigger right here. That's actually very interesting how much it overlaps onto the side. You don't really see that on any console. So I'll be curious how that functionality actually works on the Switch when you can press the real button, but that's kind of cool. And also the elephant in the room, how does this work for your mouse? Because like you guys know, I believe this piece right here is where the sensor is, and you can kind of just roll this around like a mouse on a PC or whatever. And also for that one wheelchair game, wheelchair basketball, you can do this kind of goofy thing. I don't know. I guess it works. Will it work on my legs? I mean, I guess you can do it on your legs. And I'm gonna be sitting on the couch, so like I'm not gonna have a table with me when I'm playing Switch 2. So like I gotta be able to do it on my legs, right? So I don't know. It's strange. Let's go ahead and try to stick this screen protector on now and see how that works. So it looks like a pretty normal screen protector process where you kind of just wipe down the screen, get all the dirt and grime off of this thing so you can put the screen protector down without any air bubbles. So that looks pretty good now. And of course, the nice thing is we have two screen protectors here in case you mess one up, you can just use the other one. Then you just pull down this little pull tab here, it looks like. And then you have this nice little thing that, yeah, aligns it perfectly. Yep, there we are on the Switch 2. Then you do a little press here apparently. Oh, that's kind of cool. Yo, look at that. Look at it go, look at it go. We just remove this top piece and it pops off, and you can see, yep, our screen protector is there. Just got a little bit of air bubbles there on the side. We just can get out pretty easily with our fingers. And boom, we got our screen protector there, nice and easy, no dirt or dust or anything under the screen. And yeah, I'm actually kind of amazed what the screen looks like. It looks like a real screen, but obviously this thing is like, it's straight up just a brick. I don't really know what's inside of this thing. Now guys, a couple more things you're probably wondering here. Let's go ahead and just do a comparison of the actual Switch next to the Switch 2. I'm talking about just the gamepad portion, so you can see, yeah, just how much larger that is there, and from the side as well. It just kind of eats this thing alive. It's just so much larger. And I'm also curious how it fits in a regular Switch dock. Of course, there's no real USB-C port down there, so it won't actually slide into the port, but let's go ahead and see how that fits there. And you can see it just it's just overpowering the Switch dock, which is not too surprising given how large this thing is. And I'm also curious if this thing will actually fit in your pocket, because the Switch 2, or the regular Switch was pretty nice because it actually did fit in your pocket if you got large enough pockets. Like I have athletic shorts on here, and you can see I just slide it in and it actually fits in my pocket. Let me go ahead and see how the Switch 2 fits. This one, oh, actually that's not bad. It like sticks out a little bit, but not horrible, definitely not quite as portable. I don't know, man, just kind of bizarre. I have this thing when the Switch 2 pre-orders have not even gone live yet. But yeah, I'm trying to figure out if there's anything else to show you guys here. I'm not quite sure, but let me know down below if you got any questions. I might make another video, kind of some follow-up questions. If you got like sizing comparisons, you want me to I don't know, something. You might have some questions. Just let me know down below. But guys, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Let me know what you think about this Switch 2 prototype dummy thing, whatever you want to call it. Not sure what the technical term is. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you next time.